is what I would do if I want to transition from full-time on-site job, from your regular 9 to 5 job to remote work. A few years ago, like I think that was about 2 years plus ish ago, I transitioned from working full-time job, 9 to 5 job, to working remotely and now freelancing. I'm going to be walking you through step by step things that you should do. I'll share with you things that I did that will help for a smoother transition. Maybe for some reason you got married, or you are a woman, you just had a baby and you can't, for some reason you can't work on site again, or you just simply want to change things, you just want to work remotely. That's what fits your situation at the moment. Then this video is for you. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all the tips you need for a smooth transition from your regular 9 to 5 job to the remote work landscape. So let's get right into the video. So number one tip is start taking your KPI seriously. So if you used to play about your KPI, like even if you don't hit your KPI, you're not going to get sanctioned, you're not going to cut your pay and all of that. I think at this point you want to start taking your KPI seriously, not necessarily for the company you're working for at the moment, but for you, because you want to build your portfolio. You want to build your portfolio. You want your CV to start looking attractive. So you want to be hitting those milestones. So if it's possible that you get a promotion, maybe you are in a senior level and you want to get to the manager level, so hitting your KPIs can help you get promotion. I'll also help build your experience on your CV for the remote job. That is very important. So start taking your KPI very seriously. And number two, this is quite related to KPIs, but your report. So if you are in a position that you have to report to a senior manager, or you have to report to your team lead, or you have to report to the CEO or the founder, himself or herself, then you have to take your report seriously. So this is not the time to do wishy-washy report. You want to make sure that you are taking everything that you are asked to do. You are detailing the report, and this is not just for the sake of doing it. You want to start tracking your report, tracking things that you're doing. You want to start keeping track of it, because you want to use the opportunity that you have right now to give yourself an advantage for the remote work landscape. Do you understand? Especially if you are looking to work remotely for an international company, you want to stack up all of those experiences. So this is your KPI and your results. Don't joke with them. These two things are very important, and you can always help you to get better jobs. I'm talking from experience. And number three things you want to do now at this point in time in your career, maybe you have 3 months, you have a 3 months exit plan, a 6 months exit plan, a 1 year exit plan. During this time, you want to be strategic. What you want to do is you want to track your achievements. It is very important. Now, it's already talked about your reports, your KPIs, taking them seriously. Now, everything you do, you want to start tracking your achievements. You want to start taking note of all those achievements that you are making. So if you did something and your manager commended you for what you did, you want to take note of that. Keep a sheet. I would recommend that you actually keep a sheet, keep a Google sheet. You want to take down all of these documents, take down your growth. So if you do something, for instance, you are in marketing and you implemented a strategy that made the company 20% more revenue, or more sales, or whatever the result is, you want to track this down in the exact numbers. And I'll tell you why you want to do this. Now your achievement is going to build up your CV. Now that you're working, you have tangible, real-time experience. You want to use this to your advantage, because obviously you're going to be using what you have to get what you want. So this is not the time to play about, just dream about landing a remote job abroad. What you have right now is golden, is very precious. And even if you are not the role, you're looking to switch roles or transition from your particular skill set, your particular job role, to something else, you want to start keeping track. So I'll talk about this in later in this video. Before I go ahead to give you other important points, things you should do if you are transitioning, I would like you to take a moment to hit the subscribe button if you are yet to do that, so that this algorithm can push this video to more people that need to see this video. So that said, let's get right into the other point. So point number 4, you also want to track everything that you do. So you know how colleagues come to you in the office and be like, hey Joy, whatever your name is, hi, hey Rita, please can you help with this, da da da. So any contribution that you make that leads to a result, you should take note of it. So it's not like it is for that situation, but you have a goal. Your goal is that I want to land a remote job. As soon as I'm leaving, I'm turning in my resignation letter, I'm getting a remote job in the next 1 month, next 2 months, next 3 months. So all of these things you're doing are going, from now, everything you're going to be doing is going to be strategic. So there is no doing things for the sake of it. So if you do something, track your growth. So if you're, for instance, you are a content writer, I'm just saying that based on my experience. So you're a content writer and you put up, so if you're a content writer for a brand, like you're working full-time 9 to 5 and you just write articles, you move on, you know, you give it to your team lead or the SEO person and you just move on with your life. Your duty is, your job is done. If that's what you used to do before, now you want to start taking active steps to actually ask questions. Ask your line manager questions, ask your team lead, oh, the article that I wrote, what is the result, what happened, was it better than before, or whatever. How you need to start understanding the back end, understand how what you do, how it contributes to the business in general. You want to understand how it contributes to the revenue, to everything that's, you know, how it plays a role in that particular business, in that particular company, because you want to use this data in your CV, you want to use this data in your portfolio, you want to use this data on your landing page. So you need to start taking notes of all of this data, and don't just come across as aggressive. Oh, I would love to know how did you, and they'll give you the detail that, oh, this is what it is. It's showing up on Google first page. We have more views on this, so we had more conversions. It led to more sales. It led to more visibility for the brand. All of these nuances, you have to take note of this and mark the percentage increase. Oh, we had 5% increase in this month. Oh, this month that you did this certain stuff, we had 10% increase. You want to take note of all of this. It's very, very important. You know, when I was working my full-time job, I knew that, you know, I'd come to the end of this, like working full-time, you know, on-site full-time. I started to take note of my wins, because at this point you actually have access to companies' data. I'm not saying like confidential data, like your growth and all of that, like what you do, you know, what happened. You send an email, you have access to the back end, you have access to the back end of the website, you see what is going on. You send an email, you can see the open rate, you know, all of those stuff. You want to start taking advantage of all of this. You posted something on the company social media, from the back end you can see the analytics. You want to start taking screenshots. If the company doesn't, you can blur out the name of the company and all of them. You want to start taking screenshots of what you're doing, the reports, the growth. All of these things, they are very important. They are going to help you. So this is the phase one of the things you have to do. I'm talking about your report, data, you know, gathering your achievements, promotions, comments. Now the stage 2, you are going to, in this other stage, you are now going to transition into actually building your portfolio, building your job search tools while you are still doing your on-site job. And mind you, this is not what to do to like distract you from the job that you're currently doing. So this is just a way for you to prepare. So in this level, these are the things you're going to do. First of all, you're going to go create a LinkedIn account. Is very important. So if you don't have a LinkedIn account, or you've not heard of what LinkedIn is a online networking platform, a website. So just go to linkedin.com. So go there. If you already have an account, this is a time for you to revamp your LinkedIn account. So you want to put a profile picture, put your header, know what you're about, your about statement and all of that. So why should you do this now? Because you are working at the moment and you have colleagues. So if you're working in a big company, you're working in a multinational, you're working in a big corporation and all of that, so you are opportuned to actually have loads, like many colleagues, you know, co-workers. So this is the time for you to get endorsements and recommendations from your colleagues. Add them, let them connect with you. So you have the opportunity to manually tell people. Maybe you have that 100 staff members, 50 staff members, 10 staff members, 500, 1,000 staff members. You can walk up to them that, oh, hey, when you do something for them, and someone asks you for something, you do something for them. So please, can you, recommend me for this skill on LinkedIn? And they'll do that. And that way you're already building your profile. You see how everything is coming up now. Like, this is the advantage. Like, having a 9 to 5 currently and wanting to transition into the remote work, like, it's such a big flex. You have such a great advantage, and I had that advantage, I'm not going to deny, and it was really helpful. So you want to build your LinkedIn profile, get recommendations from your colleagues, get endorsements for your skills from your colleagues, your friends, anybody that you helped, and or even from your boss. This is the time for you to be the goody tissues so that you can get all of the recommendations and all of that. Then the next thing, you want to start passively pitching clients. And this is very important. So this is what I would advise you. I won't advise you just go straight into applying for remote jobs. The easiest route for you to go through all of this is to start from freelancing. Like, this is what I did. I started from freelancing. So I started doing a couple of helping my colleagues at work, because I was already working as a full-time content writer for a brand on site full-time. So I was helping my colleagues because they knew that I was amazing at my job. So some of them had their personal website. Oh, can you help me look through this stuff? I'm writing this stuff. Can you help me look through? Can you help me write this stuff? So I was already helping them, and sometimes I get compensated for it. But aside that, I went on a freelance marketing platform, freelance marketplace, that is Upwork, and I created an account on Upwork. I created an account on Fiverr, but I created an account on Upwork. I remember the day I created an account on Upwork, the next day I actually got a client. So that is just the business, because I already have like years of experience. I already have loads of samples because I'm already working in a brand before. So that can actually be very, very helpful. So at this time, you might not be actively searching for these gigs, but it's just interesting because you can passively be doing it and you can land your first gig. So this might not take you, it's not like a full commitment, since maybe you have a 3 months plan for exit plan or a 6 months exit plan. So taking freelance gigs can also give you an idea of working on working with international brands, but without so much commitment, because you can work for 1 or 2 hours. You can just decide to apply only in the evenings and dedicate your evenings after work to actually do your freelance gigs or your weekends. So that way there's a fair balance to all of this stuff, and it gives you an idea into the whole landscape. You start to understand things and all of that, so you don't just burst into the plan and get confused and you are broke and all of that. So another advantage you have, since you're already doing a 9 to 5, is cash. You have money. At least you are already working, so you obviously have your salary. So it's going to help you, especially on Upwork. Like, Upwork is now very monetized. Like, if you don't have money, it's going to be difficult because you have to buy connects and all of that. So that time before is not as bad as this, but now there's nothing you can do on Upwork if you don't buy connect without money. So because you are already working, so you can afford to say, okay, this is my 6 month plan. Every month when I receive my salary, I'm going to be dedicating 50% or 30% or 20% or 10% of my salary into buying connect on Upwork and actually pitching for gigs on Upwork. I recommend you doing this because, for sure, this is the most convenient way to actually find jobs if you are new, because there are a lot of 1001 ways, and I'll tell you that. That's why I told you to first of all go register on LinkedIn. But LinkedIn is somewhat passive, but if you have a plan and you really want to see this plan come true, Upwork is a great place for you to start. And also Fiverr. So go on Fiverr, create a gig on Fiverr, optimize it, see what is working. So at this point, why this is great, because you are actually not very desperate, but at least you keep the ball rolling and all of that. So this is very, very, very super important that you do this. Is very important. Then another thing you want to do is you want to be discreet. See, when you are actually if you are about to take a big step in your life, and then quitting your job and transitioning to the remote work landscape is a big step in your life. You don't want to start telling all of your colleagues about it. You want to be secretive at this point, because this is just a success, something that you want to really happen for you, and at the same time is burden. So you don't want to start telling everybody about it. You want to keep this thing, you know, like hush hush, so that when you eventually maybe land a remote job or land a retainership contract, so that everything works out. Because some people, if you might tell a colleague, that will tell another colleague, that will eventually tell the boss or the CEO or your manager, and you can just get fired. So you just have to be very careful doing this, and you also have to learn to be secretive. There's some things you should not talk about. I understand building in public and all of that, but some things are better done in privacy. You understand? So that is very, very, very important. And another thing, before I end this video, you also want to start building your job search tools. Very important. So you want to start, because maybe you've worked in a place for 5 years, 3 years, 2 years, you know, your CV has just been gathering dust. You have to go dust your CV, revamp your CV, look for cover letter, CV, remote job CV templates, and revamp your CV. I would advise that you take someone that use someone's CV that's actually landed a remote job to revamp your CV, revamp your cover letter, get your portfolio, and get your portfolio ready, get all of this stuff ready, because they are going to help you, you know, land the remote job. And this is the last and actually the most important point. Now you want to keep track of everything that you're doing. But before I go into the details about keeping track of everything that you're doing at this point, you actually have to learn about the landscape. And if you are going to be transitioning, like you're not just moving from your full-time 9 to 5 to the remote job landscape, if you're also going to be changing your job roles, maybe for instance you are an administrator or administrative person, or you're a customer service representative, or you're a salesperson, whatever your role is, and you want to transition maybe into marketing, maybe content marketing, video editing, to a more digital skill, your roadmap is quite different, because you're going to be transitioning. So if this is your situation, you want to start learning while you are working. So maybe your evenings, you're going to dedicate it to taking a course on, you know, the new job role you want to transition into. You want to, if you feel like you've gotten a course, start practicing that, what you want to do. Maybe you want to move from maybe HR or admin into maybe digital marketing, or you want to move into social media marketing and all of that. The best way for you to do this, to get first-hand experience, is to start doing that thing in your current company. So it doesn't mean that will be your new job role. So if there's an opportunity, just let me help build the company. Take it as an extra chore, as an extra job to do, as an extra task. Let me help this company. Let me help with the social media page. Or if you want to do, let me help with email marketing. I just want to do that for free. I'm passionate about that. And every company, the boss will want you to do that. If you're willing to take up extra tasks, sure, they will always. So that's a way for you to learn, you know, tangible experience, and to get better. So you're not going without experience, and you want to also practice. And like I've said, you know, when you can practice with the job you already have and going on freelance marketing platforms. So let's go back to what I said before. Like, you need to have your job search tools, you know, cover letter, CV, LinkedIn, and all of those stuff, your portfolio ready. And the best way to do it is to get from someone that has already used. So I have actually gotten a remote jobs, and I have all of this stuff I talked about. I'm currently putting together a remote job starter pack for people that are just looking to get into the remote job landscape, the whole remote job freelancing kind of thing. So I actually have a lot of templates, CV templates, cover letter templates, you know, all of that template. And the most interesting part of it is that I actually designed a remote job search tracker for you, so that it will track everything you're supposed to do, with dates, your name is there, your picture is there. So I'll just give you a sneak peek into how all of this thing looks. So you are supposed to track the jobs you're applying for, everything. Even I also created a checklist that everything you need to do one after the other. Like, I took my time to create. So this starter pack it contains everything that you need to transition from like on-site job to working remotely. And even if you're not currently working on-site, like you just want to like move, maybe you're just recent graduate, just finished your NYSC or anything, I just want to look to, you know, going into the freelance, into the remote workspace, this starter pack is for you. Like, I actually was still working on it now. Like, this is really helpful. I'm going to also be using it. It's just really helpful. So if you're interested in getting this starter pack, you can just join the wait list. I'm going to be releasing it, going to be out in a couple of days, you know, or a week, couple of days, however. So you join the wait list. I will put the link to the wait list in this description. Join the wait list so you don't miss out on all the bonuses, so that you know when this starter pack is out, and so that you can get it. Like, it's very useful. Like, it's very, very useful. I'm not even gonna lie, it's actually very useful. So, like, I have said all of these things, and most importantly, pray about it. Everything, every big step that you want to take, you know, you can only do your part, but there's also the part of committing everything into God's hands. I 100% believe that, you know, and God will guide you. God will guide you and lead you to, you know, make the best decisions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a like, give me a thumbs up, and if you've still not subscribed to my channel and you've watched all of this my amazing content, subscribe to this channel so that this algorithm can suggest this video to more people that need to see it, and so that just a way of encouraging me to, like, I see that I have a new subscriber, like, okay, I'll keep doing this thing that I'm doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.